Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
I'm B-Fire.
And I'm David.
Oh yeah.
Starting out the new year super strong.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited for this episode. It's not our New Year's episode, but it is the first one we are recording in this new year.
Woo!
And very excited for the content as well, because we're focusing on horror stories. And
Yay!
As always, if you want to submit those to us in the future, you can do that at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
you can go to the website, cosplaystitchandseam.com, and fill out the contact form there. Plus, our buttons are all fixed.
Woo!
They broke
Yay!
somehow, and I fixed them. So, go check them out.
Awesome.
Or
There you go.
strong
You take
start.
a week off, Mercedes. You take a week off. Or go to the Facebook page. And while you're on the Facebook page, join our fantastic Work in Progress Wednesday group. We would love to see what you're working on. We'd love to hear all of the things. We've got a fantastic community that wants to see you grow, see you build things, and see you develop your new tools. And while you're on the internet, if you're not a big fan of Facebook, we totally get that. We do have a Discord. Our Discord server has just as many great groups. It's been really active this past week at the time of this recording, and it's been nothing but a lot of fun. People talking about props, people talking about Transformers,
nice.
just all these great things. I'm posting in there a little bit lately because I've started working on some 3D props. So I'm really excited to be working on that and sharing that with all of you guys while you're on the internet. And if you want to help out the show, you can always share the podcast with a friend. Is there an episode that you really liked, resonated with you, or had a good laugh at? Go ahead and share that episode with a friend. Leave us a review wherever your podcast app lets you, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. And we really appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. Of course, if you have a few bucks laying around now that the holiday season is over and your wallet is a little bit thicker with money that you may earn that will pay for next year's holiday spendings, we do have a Coffee, KOFI, Cosplay Stitch, and a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplaystitch. For $3 a month, you can get a shout out every single episode, and for $5 a month, you can join our D&D live stream called Cosplay Chronicles.
I'm so excited.
It's been
so many
a lot
good
of
things.
It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of interesting things, and some big plot hooks have been dropped in front of the players, and they are eating them up, and I love it.
Character development. Tolan is a lightweight when it comes to drinking. That's character development.
Is that development, or is that just a realization?
Of a lot of natural ones.
That was
Oh,
a day.
God. That was a bad day.
Boy. Well, speaking of things you can spend your holiday gift cards on, you can always check out Fox Beauty Cosmetics at foxbeauty.store. They have all kinds of fun products, different eyeshadows, different lip colors, glosses, and all kinds of fun stuff for cosplayers. You can get 10% off your purchase when you use the promo code Stitch and Seam. And yeah, how you guys doing?
I am so excited to talk to you guys again. We had some time to not have to worry about editing and whatnot. Missed you guys. I missed you.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Too.
I am excited for this episode where we get to catch up on all the horror stories y'all have sent in.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. They were looking at the list and we're
Clean
like,
slate.
oh my gosh.
I was going to say, speaking of horror stories, do y'all have any fun holiday stories you want to share?
I have been a cooking beast this past little while.
Nice.
I have, for Christmas morning, I made a chicken and waffles.
Oh, yum.
Ooh.
And I did it all by scratch. So, I had the chicken soaking in buttermilk the night beforehand. I used the buttermilk in the dredges of the flour to get it get those little beads, so it was nice and crispy and fresh. And then I used my Captain America waffle iron.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I did post that in the foods channel on our Discord server. It was very tasty.
Yeah.
This
my gosh,
morning,
chicky waffles.
I made creme brulee, French toast, and in the oven right now is meringue jam cookies.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Dang. Your household getting well fed.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Meanwhile, I am 2 or 3 days out from leaving for Anime Los Angeles, and I'm going to, I want to go grocery shopping right before I leave. So I'm just living on the dredges of the pantry. So I will just enviously hear and look at your food.
I will post many a picture.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Amazing. How about you, Mercedes? Do you have some fun holiday stories you want to share?
So I just got back for a week of being it's up near Yellowstone. We didn't actually go in Yellowstone, but we went up by it, and a number of fun but terrifying things happened. The number one being the first morning that we were in this little cabin. Again, this is a tiny cabin, so it's me, my siblings, so my brothers were sharing a bed, aka one took the top of the bed, and because we're in the loft and the rooftop, it's all nice and pointy, right? The other brother made a little cave and slept on the floor the whole time.
Heck yeah.
My sister and her fiance had another bed, and I slept on a cot, and like it was nice. It was nice. It's like, like we all got there, we fell asleep, and all of us woke up in the morning to snow falling off the roof is terrifying. Especially when it's not just a little bit of snow. It's a lot. So we were all awake very much the first morning. And then I haven't been snowmobiling in ages. So we went and did some of that on like the third day, and the fourth day, my body hated me.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I forgot how much of your muscles it uses, and I'm still like recovering from that. My neck hurts, my shoulders hurt, my biceps hurt. You have to like turn the machine. Also, new fear unlocked. The tour guide we had, he was very sweet. Kudos to Marcus. I highly doubt he's listening to this, but hey, dude, you were awesome. We've been to most places up there. So he was trying to find something new for us. And he's like, oh, have you guys ever been up to the top of the mountain? And it's like, oh, no, actually, we haven't. So he starts taking us that way. And I'm riding passenger at this point because my thumb is killing me from the throttle. My brothers are all teasing me, you're not a real gamer then. And I'm like, oh, shut up.
Oh my gosh.
We're old.
I'm like, I am not young. So we're on our way up, and I don't have to be focusing on driving now. I can focus on all the scenery. And turns out I am terrified of tall trees, heavy laden with snow, and the fog so thick that the trees' colors are not the right color. And the tops of them disappear into the clouds. That's terrifying.
Oh no.
So we get to this point where he's the tour guide, he's all like, all right, guys, this is the point of, do we go up over the mountain or do you want to go back down? I was like, down, please. New fear unlocked. If those clouds get any lower, I am going to lose it.
Oh,
that's a lot coming from a Utah. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, I've done this in a car, but I have the safety of the car around me. But when you're just exposed to it on a snowmobile, it's like, no thanks.
No.
Yeah, so new fear unlocked. It probably goes along with my fear of deep water where I can't see the bottom. Well, if I can't see the tops of the trees too, that's freaky as well.
I've been listening to just enough Magnus that I'm waiting for. Statement begins.
Statement begins. Yes. Oh my gosh. No, I could write something on that with these freaking trees.
Well,
so we're starting the year fresh. We're clearing out our past year of horror stories. Now that we've heard a V-Fire horror story, let's go to some of our favorite horror stories of the year. And by that, I mean the ones that we have yet to read.
Yeah, let's dive into this.
Horror stories. Spooky, spooky, spooky.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Well, I have our Discord server up, and we have a whole channel dedicated just for cosplay horror stories. And remember, it's not always just your horror stories. Sometimes it's happy stories, too. Our first one comes from Tim Yoke back in August. They include some fantastic pictures of his progress. I had taken off the top with this clear plastic cap over LEDs to bead blast it. Those are hard words to say back to back.
Mm-hmm.
The cap is epoxied on, as well as all the LEDs. While taping the leads of the LED, I accidentally pulled out the wires.
Oh, no.
I had to knock out the LED while removing the cap. I damaged it. This required machining a piece of aluminum and pressing it back into it, and machining off the epoxy on the bottom piece. They are currently clamped together, curing. It gets worse, they said in a follow-up. The aluminum antenna ball on top of it all, I drilled and tapped it for 30 seconds, I believe, for the top screw terminal, and I drilled it too far, and the antenna ball snapped in half.
Oh, no.
So now I have to do a whole new one.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that's frustrating.
That sounds so frustrating, especially like machining. Like, I have never done it, but I know that watching Adam Savage do it, that takes a lot of time and practice and effort.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it sounds like. Whew. It looks like we got another one from Tim. This one's from later on, probably the same project. It says, I spent several hours getting this ready for paint, got the primer on, the base silver, and the black. And then when I was doing the taping, it peeled off clear to the primer.
Oh,
I don't know what went wrong. The aluminum is bead blasted and it's primed with duplicator self-etch, which is excellent on aluminum. But now I have to strip it to bare aluminum and start again. Oh
my gosh.
Yikes.
Ooh.
I can't even imagine.
That sounds like something my husband would relate to.
Oh, painting can be such a pain, getting like the layers just right and making sure it like sticks well to the surface you're doing it on. And
yeah, and then having it all come off and you're like, well, crap.
Right? Like just that little bit of masking, you do a little bit of masking tape and then you peel it off just a little bit too late and also a little too early and it cracks and it's just the worst.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Do you want to get this next one from X Angel, Mercedes?
I got it. All right, X Angel, my cosplay buddy. So they say, I got a horror story today. One of the big wig brands was having an app-only sale, and I figured I could get my next wig once the sale went live. That is, what we all think, right?
That's what we hope for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just one. Only one.
I was following a recommended wig from a wig guide where they gave a specific type and color to match a character. The sale starts, and I try to order the wig, and the app won't let me check out. It says that there's something wrong with an item in my cart. I end up pulling up their site to see what's going on, and the exact wig and color is out of stock.
No.
On one hand, I love the app, that the app will not let you order an out-of-stock item. On the other hand, they didn't outright tell you it was out of stock.
Dang
so
it.
suggestion to whichever wig brand that is, have on your app that it's out of stock. I noticed an adjacent color is in stock, and it might be a better color match for my own interpretation of the character. Once I'm home,
Nice.
I dive into the unpacked boxes, and I think I found the box with my wig coloring. I pick it up, start towards the stairs, and the bottom of the box flies open, dumping wigs, styrofoam heads, and hats all over dried leaves and potential spiderwebs.
Oh. Nope, now you have to burn it all.
Yep. Nope. Never touching it again.
Yep. Sorry, spiders. You can have it. My wig coloring took the brunt of the damage, and so did a white hat. Go figure. Oh no!
Oh.
And I quickly picked up what I could to prevent potential spiders. Finally, I find that the color in stock is in fact a better color match, in my opinion. Orders placed, and everything seemed right in the world. Refreshed the website, and the order I just placed was out of stock.
No.
Oh.
I got a confirmation email for my order, so now I just have to wait and see if I happen to snag the last one, or if it's in an order limbo space. Got a tracking number. Wig is on the way. Overall good ending.
Oh, good. Okay. That
Jeez.
was a little bit concerning.
That have a
Wow,
money
what
order,
a-
and it's like out of stock. Shoot.
Wow. I'll take the next from Pantapuff, which I love that name, and they also posted this on our Discord. My horror story of the day: going to a fabric store and it being closed for vacation.
Dang it.
I've done that before.
Aw.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Absolute worst.
You go by and you're like, no.
No.
And you've only got so much time in the day. You've only got so many like spoons that you can spend. You know, I hate going outside, and just the idea of like, all right, I'm up, I'm moving. This is the one trip I'm making for the day, and they're closed because they're on vacation.
And it takes the wind out of your sails, and you're like, well, I'm going home and sitting on the couch again.
Yeah. Oh man. We've got one from Mickey L from September 4th is a Dragon Con cosplay horror story. Says, I knew if there was one thing I wanted to do at Dragon Con, it was kilt blowing. I had the people in my group of travelers watching for when sign up happens so that I can enter.
Wait,
I don't know what that one is, but it sounds fun.
That could mean so many things.
I know. My outfit gets accepted, and my wife helps me to ensure that all the colors in the outfit look good. The event is at 1 a.m., so we decided to go to what is considered by locals to be the best Waffle House in Atlanta. We order our food and catch a ride share back to the hotel to eat our food. I take 3 bites and my stomach says, nope, this is not safe. I run to the bathroom and proceeded to lose everything I had eaten or drank that day. After several sessions of this, I crawl into bed wanting to die. So now I have to go to the dealer's room to meet the artist and apologize. Oh, that sucks. I've been sick at cons just a handful of times, and it is just such a sad experience.
So, according to the Dragon Con subreddit, kilt blowing is an after-hours event started as a gag by Jenny Breeden, author of the webcomic The Devil's Panties. It started a few years ago in the corner of the Marriott Marquis lower level, but has since grown to become a convention main track programming event. Contestants sign up over the course of the convention to participate in having their kilts blown up by a leaf blower, while hundreds of onlookers, taking varying degrees of interest, hoot, holler, and make catcalls. The models oftentimes are photographed for a calendar. As mentioned, the naughty bits are covered, and intentional exposure is frowned upon. It's a rowdy, great time, says Reddit.
That sounds amazing. I'm sad that they missed it.
Want to go to Dragon Con so bad.
Wow.
That's amazing. Kilt blowing is better than what I thought it was. Again, that's amazing. Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic. I love that so much.
Oh
boy. Mercedes, you want to grab that one from Sakura Rogan?
Yes. So Sakura sends in a picture of a sewing machine needle that is shattered. And just captions it. Talk about scary. This hasn't happened in quite some time. And even hit the presser foot. Scared me, all right.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's so funny. Because like I've smashed my finger in a sewing machine.
Oh no.
That's not good.
No. Cracked my thumb like an egg. The fingernail, I mean, not my thumb, my fingernail like an egg. That's the best way I could describe it. But it actually reminds me of when I took my sewing machine like all the way to Sadie's, got everything set up and went to sew and realized I didn't have the presser foot.
Oh
no.
Gotta crank it by hand, like the olden days.
I was just like the like, one that holds the fabric down. Like I could run the machine with the regular like foot pedal, but the presser foot for like holding the fabric down, it was gone. I was like, shoot, I hope that's where I left it at home. Also, where did I leave it at home?
Hey, so I have a question. In that traveling, did you turn off the sewing machine in that time?
Yes, I did. Yes, it's been off.
Dr. Steggy writes one in. It's not so much a horror story. A friend of mine reached out for help because her kids want to do Zelda-themed Halloween costumes, and her options for Zelda were not great. Also, Dr. Steggy has been doing a lot of like fantastic Zelda costumes. Check out their TikTok.
if you go with someone for Zelda cosplays, it's Dr. Steggy.
It really is. Dr. Steggy is... Sorry. Dr. Steggy is really just smashing it. I can't believe I just swore.
That's how good Dr. Steggy is.
It really is. All right. After looking over options, I thought this was something I could do fairly easily by modifying a t-shirt and adding some accessories. Today I met with Mom and our Zelda to get measurements. I had a pair of latex ears that I can't wear, latex sensitivity, and never used, so I brought those with me as the daughter was interested in ears too. She asked me to wear them, so I put them on her, and she was so excited to see them on, she ended up wearing them home. I can't wait to see her all done. That is adorable. That's fantastic to hear.
Super cute.
That's so cute.
Let's see. We have another one here from Hayate Doll from October 7th. It says, just finished listening to the Beating the Heat episode and was reminded of a horror story from a couple years ago. I'm from Texas, and in 2019, our big local con, A-Con, was held at Dallas Fair Park, which is where the state fair is held. It's basically acres of open concrete with a few industrial buildings and museums on the premises. And A-Con is usually at the beginning of June, which is the height of summer here. The buildings were packed full with the dealer's room, artist alley, gaming panels, etc. And it was impossible to move inside, so a lot of people had to spend most of the weekend outside, in the heat under direct sunlight, on wide open concrete resembling a giant frying pan.
Oh, gosh.
So, I've been to that one in Texas. It is hot. So what happened was that since there is no cover or indoor space, my friends and I spent most of our time in the shade and trying to walk between buildings to get to food and a little bit of relief at the misting stations. One of my friends, Rex, is really prone to overheating, and we were entering the cosplay contest as a group of characters from My Hero Academia. Rex was dressed as Ochako, who essentially wears a pleather bodysuit. So, that is already sounding scary.
I don't see the problem at all.
So, of course, they overheated to the point where we had to drag them into the medical building. They were on the verge of passing out, and the EMT said that we might need to cut them out of the bodysuit if we couldn't get it off.
Whoa.
Call time for the contest was in about 20 minutes, and horror just flashed across both my and my other friends who had made the Ochako cosplay for Rex faces. And we, very comically, I must say, both shook our heads and said, please no. Thankfully, once we were under the AC, Rex was able to consciously take off the top half of the bodysuit and get some ice packs against their skin. And we made it to call with a couple minutes to spare. But more than anything, we are very glad that A-Con was essentially bullied out of ever considering hosting their convention at Fair Park again.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad that they took those into consideration and made changes so that it can not have emergencies like that again. That's scary. Ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely good to hear that they took the feedback of even if it was probably a lot of intense feedback.
Yeah.
It sounds like they took it pretty seriously.
Oh, yeah, scary. I've had friends overheat at other conventions that are in the middle of summer before, and it's scary. It's not fun. Let's see what else we got, Mercedes.
All right, we've got this from Morning. It says, I have been horribly sleep deprived and sick because I've been working on cosplay 18 plus hours a day trying to get everything ready for the contest today. Skip to today being October 14th, where I've had to cut things that were basically done because I don't have time to install. But with help from my sibling and father and mother night before, it was semi-passable. Then a combo of my sister and I dropped off one of my 3D printed leg pieces, causing the bottom to borderline shatter. My father was helping iron my sibling's costume. The iron slipped and melted a portion of the filigree that I put on. I feel physically ill, and I still need to add the finishing details before craftsmanship at 6:45.
Yikes.
And then they had an update to the story. I completely understand that gut-wrenching feeling when you're like, this is awful. So here's an update to their story. It's amazing how awful things can seem in the moment. When I wrote the first part, I was horribly upset to the point where I was convinced I would never make another cosplay again. The costume wasn't everything I had wanted it to be, and I felt defeated. I've been there. I was going to pull from the craftsmanship because I was so convinced that it looked horrible and I just messed everything up that I felt ashamed to have somebody look closely at my work. but I didn't pull. I wiped my tears and ran into craftsmanship with the best I could muster, and you know what? They really liked it. It wasn't perfect and not exactly what I had envisioned, but for the fog machines I had to cut, I had yards of handmade lace. For the lack of the 2-stage mechanized sword wings, I had painstakingly planned and modeled props and leg armor. Our skit was so much fun, and we made the audience laugh. I was able to meet Cosplay Stitch and Seam people in the green room and say hello, which was amazing, even if I feel like I was exceedingly awkward. You're not awkward, morning. And even though I spent the majority of the day, Friday and Saturday, running around and working on things, so I missed the majority of everything else, I still got to go on Sunday to the Create the Impossible panel and see my new friend and say hi to David.
Yay.
Seeing everyone's amazing costumes, feeling a part of the contest, and making people smile, that reminded me why I cosplay. For all the heartache, for all the stress and depression, this is an amazing community. So I guess this is a horror story and a reminder of why I do this, and that I will always be my worst critic.
Aww.
And now I'm suddenly going like, oh shoot, I remember this person.
I got to say hi to Morning, and like they were so lovely, and like I was trying to pack up because as we all know that there's very little time in between panels, so I was trying to pack up for one panel to go to another panel with all the recording equipment, and I felt so bad because I couldn't just stop and say hi. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. Okay, I gotta get back to packing up things. Lovely, quick selfie, cool. Talk to you later, bye. But they were fantastic to chat with, even for the 30 seconds that I had. And your cosplay morning looked fantastic, and it was really, really great to just everybody that came up and said hi. I remember X Angel was talking to somebody, and I just like popped in and was like, hi. And it happened to be exactly when X Angel was like, I recommend this podcast, Cosplay Stitch and Seam. Hi. Oh, that's me.
And you're summoned.
Amazing.
We have one from PB and James on, and they submitted this on Halloween itself.
Ooh,
my horror story comes to you after I had to make the difficult decision to stop working on my Halloween deco. I left a lot of it until the last minute due to my fear of failure and time restraints due to being in college. I put off eating, drinking water, and barely slept all week trying to pump out 7 cosplays for Halloween.
7? Oh my gosh.
Ignoring my extremely high blood pressure and heart squeezes,
Oh,
I spent
no.
all of this Halloween morning sewing, and then bam, cut the neck hole way too large.
Oh.
Large enough, I would have to rip out every seam I had just sewn. I had told everyone I had plans to do this cosplay since before Halloween, and I didn't want to let anyone or myself down, so I pushed myself to the brink, going through multiple machines with issues, trying to get this cosplay done, ignoring the signs that I was putting my health in danger. TLDR, perfectionism is its own cosplay horror story, but no cosplay is worth landing yourself in the hospital.
Oh, yikes.
Oh.
Well, I am very glad PB and James put the health first.
Yes.
That's scary. That's
like your Halloween deco will come. It doesn't have to be this year. I know it's like way late coming along.
and I totally get that like perception of like, I made this promise, I need to get this done. It's so close to the deadline, and like you're not like you're afraid to disappoint others, but I think you're more afraid to disappoint yourself sometimes. And like,
oh sure,
you got to cut yourself some slack. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned about my ADHD is you got to cut yourself some slack sometimes. Like you're going to forget stuff, things are going to be stressful, but no one's going to be disappointed that you didn't make something because you prioritized your health. Everyone's gonna be proud of you in that moment.
Yeah, very true, very true. Let's see, speaking of scary things, so on our Discord you can actually post your horror stories with pictures, which can be both like cool because we can see like the amazing things you've survived, but also terrifying because this one included a picture of a spider, which is immediately horrifying to me. This one comes from Capital Boar Cosplay, and with their lovely pictures. So I think this counts as a horror story of the several issues that got in the way of my costume prep for the local geek markets. Finding this spider in the costume after taking it off was kind of not fun.
This sucker's
I would.
huge.
Oh, I would have screamed. Oh no!
So, talk about spiders for a few moments here. So skip 30 seconds. The sucker is curled up. It's furry. It's terrifying. It's huge.
That no.
Oh
No,
man,
I would cry. The scariest one so far.
definitely.
I've got one from I got this. Lunarnania?
Yeah.
Lunarnania cosplay. All right. If I said that wrong, tell me how to say that. But I love that name. Lunarnania. Dang it.
Lunarmania.
Lunarnania.
It is. It looked like an M because I was so far away. I was like, why is that so hard? It's just Lunar Mania. No, it's Lunarnania.
Mania. Yeah.
All right. So not a horror story, but a hilarious one. I was at a local convention as White Diamond from Stephen University years ago. Excellent. My headpiece was made out of paper mache, and it was a very windy night. Me and a couple friends were going to find somewhere to eat, and every time I would walk forward outside, the wind would blow me back by my headpiece. It was annoying.
Oh my god,
funny.
Your head is a kite.
It's bigger than their torso. Like, looking at the picture, this thing is huge. I'm gonna post this in our group chat real quick because it's legit. Just I don't know how you didn't like fan people as you were turning around and like. I would have needed a cosplay handler on this one alone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, your head would just want to like take flight with that. Wow.
That's cool. That's so cool.
That is cool though. That's very cool looking.
And the last one on our Discord server for now is Tim Yoke. He's been working on this project for a very long time. And this one I just found very relatable. Is this a horror story? I just found my missing Halloween makeup in my vest pocket from 2 years ago. I probably wouldn't wear that if it was just sitting around for an extended period of time. But, you do you. You do you.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Let's see. This one comes from our email. It's sent in by Zanali. It says, 2 other horror stories came to my brain. Happened on the same
sent
day.
in a few before.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So these happened on the same day. We were shooting for Resident Evil as Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong with my friends as zombies. Some of my favorite Resident Evil characters, by the way. We were doing it on the rooftop of my friend's apartment where people are currently living. The building is this old concrete cement, so it looks eerie and haunted. Nice. We did it at dusk, so we have some dark backgrounds. And when we were shooting, one of my zombie friends went down to my friend's unit and we heard shouting and a commotion. We all stopped and tried to see what was happening. The security guard of the building went up to the rooftop and saw what we were doing and told us that one of the residents saw our friend and thought it was a ghost and called management on us. Literal horror story. But the real horror story is when I was cosplaying as Leon. I parted my wig the wrong way. My bangs were in the wrong side of my face. And I just realized when it was all done and over with. Up till now, I always mirror the reference picture before I go to a con to make sure that everything is on the correct side.
Oh no.
That's such a big thing where it's like you like double and triple check and then you still
hilarious.
Get it wrong.
Not that like they were worried people were fighting on the rooftop, but that they called it in as a ghost.
There's a ghost on the roof.
I'm not going to pay the raised rent if there's ghosts. They're living here for free.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. Okay. I've got another one from the email from Breeze. So Breeze says, I found your podcast during ConCrunch recently and wholly enjoyed it and being part of the Facebook group as well. My horror story is the reason I refuse to wear incomplete costumes. If I have to bring a sewing machine to a con in order for my cosplay to be done, it's just not getting done. Good. I started sewing. That's a good rule to set.
Great rule.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it just takes away so much stress. I started sewing at the end of 2009 and entered my first contest a few months later. I met a group of friends on cosplay.com. Woo, shout out to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
and we decided to do a Hetalia skit for Otakon 2010. Since I was the only one capable of crafting at the time, I ended up sewing and helping with 4 of the 9 costumes we wore. Whew. I was also unaware my friends had signed me up for craftsmanship judging.
Oh!
That would be good to know beforehand.
Surprise!
I didn't know until we checked in at the con, and it was the most harrowing experience I've had at a contest. I couldn't even tell you who the judges were, just that I had no idea what to say, and I definitely explained every flaw I made and the fact that I had finished sewing our France's buttons on about 10 minutes prior.
Oh, no.
I had been con crunching up to the final hour. I ended up spending most of the weekend in the hotel room finishing those costumes, sewing buttons, and doing alterations. I slept about 4 to 6 hours throughout the entire weekend.
Yikes.
Ouch.
No.
And when I did sleep, I was curled up under the ironing board since our 9 skit members were in the same room and piled on top of each other.
You know what? I can respect it. I can respect the hustle. In that moment specifically, I'm like, I want to sleep on a bed with 9 other people right now. No, thank you.
Under the ironing board it is.
Yep.
Make you a little fort.
Exactly.
We had also decided on doing completely different costumes on the Sunday of the con and had to wait for one of our other friends to make the base jackets and drive them up to us from Virginia to Baltimore on Saturday night. Ooh. I was sewing trim and buttons until at least 4 a.m. Sunday as well. One of my friends, who remains one of my best friends to this day, had set Airplanes by B.O.B., the hot song of the summer. Oh, that song has their alarm as well.
I know that
so
one.
That's their alarm. And I was woken up every day after 2 hours of sleep to that song. To this day, I can't listen to it without screaming.
Oh my god.
And they know what they have done. Overall, the convention itself was insanely fun, and I enjoyed every other minute of it, especially being on stage and spending time with my friends. Now I'm obsessed with contests and still go on stage every chance I get.
That's lovely.
Dang, that was a rough weekend.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Our next one comes from Indiana Jolly, or just Jolly.
Hi, Jolly! I know that.
Hi, all. I've been really enjoying the podcast. Very entertaining and informative. And it really just confirms just how much more I have to learn about the cosplay community. This is my first time sharing a horror story on here. I do apologize if it's too long. We don't care. We love to hear them. My son was cosplaying as Parzival from Ready Player One. I'm butchering that because...
No, you got it right.
Did I? Heck yeah. Yeah, reading comprehension. Go me. We had worked on the Han Solo belt with Thundercats buckle together, the jeans vest with sword, the wig, etc. The only thing my son had never done before was apply his own makeup. I, on the other hand, had always applied my own makeup. I had just never applied makeup onto anyone else. But I had a plan in place. My son had a meetup arranged with a group to do a photo shoot with the owner of a DeLorean.
Wow. That's so freaking cool.
So the day before the shoot, we went through the steps of applying the makeup to see how long it would take so that I could repeat the process the following night. I followed a few tips and tricks I found from previous Parzival. I don't know why I didn't commit cosplayers about stenciling, and it worked out amazingly well. My wife was also impressed that I managed to match the exact color of makeup to the color of the spandex bodysuit we used. The character has a lot of geometric shapes all over. If I had to paint that much, it would have taken half a day, but just doing the face took about 45 minutes to an hour. So I was very confident I could replicate the results after the test run, just in case I gave myself an hour and a half to accomplish the makeup in any event of an unforeseen circumstance. Unfortunately, that was not enough time.
Oh no.
On the evening of the shoot, I began applying the makeup to my son's face. It wasn't going on as smoothly as before. The makeup was smearing, the lines were too thick, the stencils weren't working. It was almost as if his face was rejecting the makeup. Which is when I asked him, "Did you wash your face this morning?" He had slept in that morning and hadn't showered yet because he'd planned to shower after the event. My oily-faced teen. No wonder. I had him go upstairs and completely shower, scour his face, had to start all over, and now we are an hour behind schedule. I got it done, and even though it wasn't as good as the day before, it was still better than when I had started. To make matters worse, we had just finished getting the costume on and walking out the door. The skies opened up and it began to rain. We were late. The shoot got canceled because the DeLorean owner didn't show up or didn't want to get the car to get wet. So pretty much all that worrying for nothing. I made it up by taking a few pictures of my own and adding a few effects. Even though the event was a mess, he loved being Parzival. After the complete transformation between costume, makeup, and wig, he said he's never felt cooler in his whole life.
Aww.
That's adorable.
Dang. It just goes to show that, like, you can plan for all kinds of things, and then the day of the event, just so many can go wrong. Darn it. That's a shame. But I'm glad the son still had fun.
Definitely, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This next one is also from FanX, comes from Samuel Taylor. It says, I was on the way to FanX 2021 with my buddy Brooke. We were dressing up as Brotherhood of Steel veterans from the Fallout franchise. I had built a massive suit of power armor for the event that I had been working on for about 6 months on and off.
Oof.
I had strapped up the chest piece and laser rifle to the top of my dad's SUV as I was and am still under the age of 16. The breastplate and codpiece were one big piece of armor and couldn't fit in the trunk with the rest of the suit. We had everything securely strapped on and fixed in place with cable supports so they wouldn't fly off the car while we were cruising on I-15 at 60 miles an hour. I was incredibly excited about the event, so I bolted out of the car once we hit the parking garage, and I took all of the supports off to put on my cosplay. But to my horror, I realized that the big green laser rifle wasn't strapped down properly as much of the chest piece and had flown off the roof while we were driving. Losing the gun wasn't a huge burden on my cosplay at all. It still looked bad A.
Oh my god.
I've had this exact experience of like watching my stuff tumble off the roof, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You told that story of like how the sword got caught by the wind and it was at like a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, and our luggage went all of it flying off.
Oh my gosh.
Just watching it tumble down the freeway. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. That is such a disappointment after you worked so hard. Dang.
The worst.
But it does say, follow up, I had an amazing con with my buds and I was even interviewed. So
and they had a link
that's
to a
good.
YouTube interview. It's really cute.
Oh good. So yeah, if you want to see it, you can check it out. Or never mind. Was that sent by email?
That was
sent by
we
email.
Can check it out.
That's exclusive to us. No one gets that but us.
Right.
Also, Sam, thank you so much for your kind words at the end of that email. We appreciate so much everybody who listens. They left. They said that I've always been a massive fan of your show, and as a fellow Utah cosplayer, I'd love to have this story spoken on your podcast, which not just I, but all my cosplay buddies enjoy. You guys are my heroes. And I would want to thank you guys and the whole cosplay community for helping me get this far in my cosplay journey. I love you guys. Lots of love, Sam.
Oh, Sam, thanks so much, Sam. Thanks for sharing your story and your interview. And yeah, just huge kudos for like being able to go and enjoy your con after something bad happened and still having such a good time.
Right. So it's fantastic to hear that like that didn't like stop you from having a good time, because it's easy to allow yourself that like failure of like this thing happened and I didn't get to do the thing that I had set in my mind, and it takes practice to get over the negative and really be excited regardless.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it can be really hard to like not let those like negative feelings overwhelm you, and it's just I don't know. I love all these stories that are sent in, from the full on horror to the happy stories.
Yeah. I hope our listeners at home feel inspired to both like share some of their own stories of growth, stories of like wild things that happened at conventions, and even like uplifting stuff that like turned out so well, like with Sam. Yeah, and you can, just to wrap things up, you can send those to us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com,
or you can go to the website, cosplaystitchandseam.com, and we have some contact forms there and links to fun stuff. Check them out. Or
go to the Facebook page, share them on our fantastic group community page where everybody gets to share, laugh, and learn. And I think that's the biggest thing about these horror stories, is that we're all learning together. And that's like, I think one of the reasons we wanted to do a horror story at the beginning of the year is like, look at all the things that we got to learn from in 2022 and how we can continue on in 2023 and be super excited for like, oh my gosh, I made so much progress. And horror stories are a fantastic marker of the where we've come from. So we're very proud of you guys.
Very proud of you.
Yay.
While you're on the internet, you can also join our Discord. You can get the links to that on our website, or even on the pinned tweet on our Twitter page however long that lasts. If you want to support the show, don't forget to share the podcast with a friend, leave a rating and a review wherever your podcast app lets you. And of course, we have a Ko-fi, K-O-F-I, Cosplay Stitch, and a Patreon, patreon.com/CosplayStitch. Some of the amazing people that we need to thank today are Mace, Tim Yoke, Wonderboy Cosplay, Trough Cos, Lydia, Rose Does, Yggdrasil, Dr. Staggy, James Donaldson, Cynics, Hot Riku, Renamira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Queen, Gloria Shu, Sudi, and Silver Deeds.
Oh yeah, thank you guys so much. And of course, big thanks as always to Macy Roberts for the use of her music as our theme song, and to David Jeffers for his amazing editing. How are your podcasts going, David?
They are going so stinking great. I am in rewrites for draft 2 of season 3 of The Last Voice. Go make sure that you check out seasons 1 and 2. They're all right there. It's very short. I asked my partner the other day, like, have I made 1,000 of anything? Have I made 1,000 minutes of content? And I started counting up the minutes to The Last Voice. And it was just funny to see, like, oh yeah, this is something that I've done and I've created, and I'm so excited to share it with everybody. So please, if you have the time and you enjoy like little audio dramas, go ahead, check that out. And if you enjoy comic books, go check out Comic Trades Monthly, where we talk about your favorite comic book collection in a book club format. For the month of January, we are reading X-Men by Chris Claremont. God Loves, Man Kills.
Ooh, nice. I had a thing. I was just like listening to these fun sounding podcasts and then remembering that I need to catch up on them. So y'all may know that I love to like read, I love to write, I love new words. But the fact that some people can't distinguish between etymology and entomology just bugs me in ways I can't put into words.
No.
Bye guys, we'll see you later.
Bye.